Hi there, welcome to episode 31 of the Ragecast. I got a guest with me today, Nick. Hey, Nick.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Nick.
Hey. So let's take a look at the teams. I'm looking at allies. We got Saga with Croc and two overpair squads. We got Stormtrout with double Piats, double MGs, double mortars, and a command tank. That's a lot of doubles there. And Otto with an MG, two packs for some reason. 257s, I don't know what the hell that's about. What's going on with Axis?
257's very unusual American start.
Yeah.
Not that uncommon to see on a Wehrmacht, but for Americans, not that common. The Axis, per neuter in particular, has 4 Volks with MP40s, and they are vetted Volks. So these are Volks that he's kept alive, and an officer. So this is going to be a very infantry-heavy rush, probably. Snake Boy with a more standard mixed arms Wehrmacht start, MG42, officer, pack, Grens. MG,
Double Shrek Grands too.
and mortar. And then finally, Jaeger Stam, or Jaeger Stam, however you pronounce it, pack gun, MP40 Volks officer, MG42, and Panzerschreck Grens. So we are seeing a lot of officers. Every single Wehrmacht player has an officer on the field right now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. A lot of commands being sent out right now. We're seeing the two highly vetted Volks in the center being suppressed by that MG in the house, but they managed to throw off a couple of grenades, which is a doctrinal ability. Gay is also being engaged by Croc. This may not end well with him.
Yeah, if this Churchill Croc from Suga had been on the left flank where Pernuter is, he would just be having a field day roasting Volks Grenadiers. Right now he's not doing too bad though, but he's gonna run into some stiff protection from those double Shreks and pack gun.
Yeah, he actually took a shot from a Panzerfaust, took no damage because of the over repair.
Yep. And it's gonna be, and I think for once, this is unusual, but I think the Allies actually have the support weapon advantage in the middle because the Axis brought a lot of infantry, and the Brit player, particularly Stormtrout, brought it. But also Otto too, brought a hell of a lot of support weapon.
Yeah, and we're seeing Axis really push them in the center. There was some smoke coming down. I thought that might have been Audi in the center, but it didn't turn out to be anything. Might have been a I don't know, some kind of oh, why is that Audi coming down? And we're seeing command tank gonna rush an officer and kills it. That's the first squish. Its body's actually stuck in the command tank itself.
Now that's very interesting play from Stormtrout. He does not have a lieutenant on the field. He's using the RSC ability to supervise his troops with the command tank itself.
That's a good idea.
But risky sending it out there to try to squish when that's his main supervision unit.
And he's going for the second officer. What are they sending out there? Officers like this. Oh my god, is that going to get squished? 2 officers squished by the command tank.
It is. Fantastic squish there. Personally, I would take that because while I do love the command tank, running over a Wehrmacht officer tends to be a very big game-changing thing.
Yeah.
And then the Churchill Croc from Suga taking advantage of that chaos that is created to rush in. It's going to run into a lot of AT here. We'll see how much it can kill before it goes down.
Let's see if it's able to kill these double Shrek Gren squads, which I'm started using once more and really enjoying. Left hand side is getting pushed just a little bit. Volks coming in from every angle. Unfortunately, there's MGs in every angle they head. They've decrewed a pack in the center.
Yeah, it did do its job of clearing out the support weapons on the right and center, but unfortunately, as you said, it did go down to that Panzerschreck penetration. But the Allies could quite feasibly get a stolen pack gun on the right side. While I say that, Pernuter has just dropped an officer barrage on the left flank, clearing out a 30 cal from Otto, but Otto does not seem to be in any kind of danger. He still has another 30 cal in the back to protect, as well as some rifles to recruit those support weapons that he's lost.
We're seeing Saga bring on a second Croc after the first one died, and Gay actually picking up a mortar in the backfield and stealing it. And that's, I guess, that's what Volks are for. They're just very squishy and very disposable.
You're watching the engagement on the left here. Otto did a good job of backing somewhat into a corner to defend against this infantry rush, but unfortunately not enough as he left his right flank exposed, and Pernuter using fantastic tactical engagement there, sending his unupgraded Volks in to take the suppression while his upgraded MP40 Volks cleared the support weapon, and Otto has just lost everything on the left flank now, and that's like 3 support weapons that Pernuter could feasibly steal.
Yeah, Stormtrout, I saw that attack. It was really good. I thought it was well executed. It's also interesting to see Volks with so many, grenades on them. Usually it's rifle string grenades at Volks. On the other hand, the double Piat squad from Stormtrout actually managed to take out a pack, blow it up, and now we're seeing the Croc and an upgun Sherman clearing out the left-hand side, which has no AT apart from potentially Panzerfaust and the
brand new
Volks.
Croc from Suga as well.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of armor early in the game from the Allies. I did want to see this Croc on the left flank, so we'll have to see if he leaves it over there to attack and how Pernuter will respond. He's calling a Schutzwagen right now, but I don't think that's going to be enough to counter those two tanks.
Probably not, especially when you got 57s backing them up. Croc's actually flaming out that bunker. It should have looked straight the whole time. It's a weird system. Crocs. I've never enjoyed using them, but I know they can be very good.
Oh, they can completely obliterate infantry. I mean, this long-range easily crit weapon, and then tank shock and hold down on top of it makes it extremely sturdy platform.
G-Wagon nearly gets a rear shot on this Sherman, misses.
Yeah, and Suga's positioned his Churchill in a way that it can't be shot from by the shoots or any AT on the left or right very easily, which is very nice. And the Allies just can proceed to clear the field, basically. There's a few scattered Axis troops, but for the most part the Axis have been completely wiped, bringing on fresh reinforcements now, but they're going to be pretty staggered, whereas the Allies have all of their forces right at the front line, pretty much.
It doesn't look good for the Axis right now, but this game is called The Walking Dead, so I'm assuming there's a wave of Volks about to come on pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm not counting out the Axis just yet, because as I said, while they did get manhandled just now by that Churchill Croc, they have already killed one, and they've cleared Otto's stuff out once on the left. It doesn't look like Pernuter got any of those support weapons out, though. It looks like Otto managed to take them back. So good on Otto for doing that. I missed it in the engagement. Axis are doing one thing better than the Allies right now, and that is back capping. They have territory advantage on the right side. And the Axis looking to make a counterattack right now.
It's interesting, apart from this engagement in the center, you're seeing on the left Volks rushing up with MP40s and a G-Wagon. It almost looks like a quasi-PE faction in a way. Like just a whole bunch of disposable units with cheap assault weapons and mobile anti-tank. It's kind of like classic PE/Volkstrom.
It does seem a lot like the roles have been somewhat reversed, with the Allies running most of the support weapons this game, and the Axis running most of the infantry, disposable infantry at that, with upgrades.
And it makes sense.
LDT, as you said.
Yeah, it makes kind of sense because the Axis really at the start of the game didn't bring up too many support weapons. They brought up a lot more Volks, and they were prepared to really rush in and do such damage. Unfortunately, this Croc now is really low health. So is the Sherman. And these Piats in the north, just north of the church, have taken a ton of damage, and there's a P4 out. They do have a couple of 57s, but I don't know how well it'll go for them once some fresh troops come on.
Trying to get out of dodge. It has taken a ton of damage, as you've said, and it's the second one on, so he does not want to be losing this second Churchill this early in the game. It's only 9 minutes in. Stormtrout making a I was going to say brilliant, but very desperate this last stand here, and not wanting to give up this church against this before Volks.
He desperately does not.
Flanks.
I mean, on this map, this church is kind of critical. It sort of sets the tone for where the fight's going to take place. Is it going to take place in the graveyard, or is it going to take place on the hill in the north? And that sort of determines who controls the center.
See the possible death of the Churchill. Nope, Jaeger's gonna back his pack gun up. He's leaving it up, even despite its low health. He was leaving it dangerously close to the front line, I think, in hopes of picking that Churchill off, as it is one shot away from death. Now the things have given that a little more. Snake Boy has his tank almost dead, and Suga has his as well. Pernuter making another assault on the left. I'm not seeing any medic bunkers up for him, though, so these losses that he's throwing away, these are not for a walking wounded tactic at this point in the game. He is just going in purely for the sake of attacking.
Yeah, and it could be that he has a bunch of armor manpower resource bonuses, and he's just willing to take the losses. We're seeing Stormtrout actually, Saga going to the right hand side to deal with the back cap that was happening. And fresh units being brought on. Saga with actually 2 brain squads, and Otto with some ambush rifles unupgraded. Not entirely sure
Very
what
nice.
their purpose is.
Yes, I'm guessing that he's just going to be, again, backcapping, recrewing things. There's a lot of spore weapons in the middle. There's still an MG42 that has gone uncrewed. He's recrewing that now. There's 2 packs that are low on health. So maybe he feels that those might get decrewed. The Suga bringing on some infantry as well to reinforce the right side of the map. It's interesting, these tanks that the Allies have on, Otto, for example, its upgun Sherman had 15 infantry kills, and then Suga having 16 on his, so these tanks have done quite a bit already.
It's a good job on Gay for moving his troops around the place and not attacking from the same direction. He's just sending out forces every now and then, but he's about to get rolled over by this croc, which is rushing in. Pack his face the wrong way.
Suga being very aggressive with his crocs again.
I don't know if any of these squads have Panzerfaust. He probably would have used them by now if he had it.
Wow, and that just worked out brilliantly for Suga, having uncloaked that second pack gun despite being solo health. Could have ended extremely poorly for him with those 2 packs, but he's just going to roast everything in the middle.
Not bad. That croc is actually up to 27 kills.
Yeah, Axe is desperately trying to kill it now.
Hey.
They're bringing all of their AT to the middle.
Yeah, G-Wagon, Panzer IV. I
do
don't
not
know
want
if
this
this
Churchill surviving any longer than it will have to. I don't know if 2 penetrations.
Out of
P4,
control.
That's actually fairly lucky. Out of control PI shot. Is it going to get this last shot?
Oh, he's showing his
But it
ass.
bounced off the Churchill.
Yeah, and I was wondering if he was going to
Churchill
fire
will
out of
fight
control
another day.
again. There we go, Stuka's coming
No, I
down.
won't. Ooh, Sherman bouncing at 2 HP, bouncing that Geschützwagen.
Yeah, I
shot.
saw that. That G-Wagon firing at max range.
Stormtrout doing a good job of using these one-man squads. He just has a lieutenant and 2 one-man squads on the field now, and it's still just tearing up Volks, using his teammates' healthier squads as a meat shield.
He is not going to retreat them. I mean, even one of those Piat squads actually vet 2. And more Stukas coming out. We already had 1 on the field, and now we have 2 more from Snake Boy. So they're going to go heavy on the Yachty.
Oh dear, what was that? That was a mine. That was a big mine in the backfield. Just took out the Churchill Croc, and that, folks, is why you're gonna want to get the mine plow if you have the doctrinal upgrade.
That is really unlucky.
Excellent use of mine from Jaeger. He has another one near where the Churchill died. You can see that. I bet Suga's gonna hit later in the cast here.
Oh yeah, there's a good chance he will hit something.
But that's a very big. That Churchill is causing Axis a lot of trouble, and the fact that it won't be coming back is going to be certainly a big morale lifter.
And you should expect a second mine. I mean, mines are bought with 2 uses, so there's a good chance that if they've laid 1 on the road, there's another one on the road as well. Ostwind coming out from Gay, and yeah, Stuka's just riding around the place. More Volks coming on field. Double Stukas are firing down the British position. I think it'll get the Sherman.
The Allies do have some healing up now, so Stormtrout desperately wanting to heal up his one-man units that he has. And Ostwind coming up from Jaeger, and the Allies don't have much AT now that Sherman has.
Yeah, Sherman got taken out by the Stukas, and
That's why open
they
this
have a lack of
Ostwind's,
57s right
assault.
now. Cromwell's on the
That's
left-hand side, clearing out an MG. And we got a Stug out from Panuda.
Yeah, and you can see we're 15 minutes into the game now, and that just looking at the players, both Pernuter and Jaeger have extremely large Axis companies. They probably are not fearing taking these losses at all, which is propelling them to play aggressively.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the center, if you see, Gay's actually destroying some of the MGs that have been decrewed. I like to point that out when I see players doing that, because something that always irritates me is people decrewing MGs and then not destroying them.
Definitely, if you don't have the men to recruit or you fear the enemy having suppression, then it's much better just to blow up that MG.
Yeah, leave nothing. Scorched earth.
Dug out with skirts from per neuter. And again, just sending in more infantry. Unfortunately, all the allies are condensed into a bit of a death ball right now, so they are responding quite overwhelmingly to per neuter's attack on the left side.
Yeah.
Jaeger's Ostwind being forced to back up on the right from Piaz, although it hasn't taken any damage, and we have a double Stuka barrage coming in.
Actually kills the Vet 2 Piat squad, and now the allies smell blood, so they're rushing in on the left hand side. They want to kill that Stuka, and this Cromwell's actually going around the Stug. Oh, he went too far. He should have just stopped before that. Artie coming down.
I think per neuter's officer is going down here. He's dropping a Sudoku officer barrage on himself. Oh my god.
That was amazing.
He does it, man. He's walked out of his own.
That's pretty ballsy. That is pretty ballsy.
Oh, I don't know. I think he planned on getting out of there. He
That
just
was-
wanted to take him with him, but
That was like
excellent.
that was like a Lord of the Rings "you shall not pass" kind of moment, I felt.
Oh man, that's more like cool officers don't look at explosion. He just called down that barrage
On
and
himself.
just kept running.
You ever saw a trailer for Tom Clancy's End War? It's a weird
Yeah.
thing to bring up. In that trailer, he calls on the Artie on himself at the end of the trailer. It reminds me of that. There we go. KCH running after a lieutenant. Cromwell's desperately trying to block him. He may not be able to do this though.
Both lieutenants over here in extreme danger from the KCH, and the Cromwell I don't think is going to be able to save them. One of them goes down. The other one, oh, it's going to be close. Okay, they do fight off the KCH, but the Stug is just, again, sniping these infantry. Stormtrap will only make it out with one of his 2 officers.
Not looking good. 57 is turning in the wrong direction from an Ostwind as it was firing. Its Stukas are once again firing again, probably on the 57. Jesus, Stukas destroy that 57.
And Stormtrout, as I feared, has just lost his second lieutenant to an unlucky shot to the Stug, so that I am very much doubting that Stormtrout has a third on for this fight. So, while the allies haven't been inflicting losses on the Axis in the short run, the loss of those both Crocodile tanks, Crocodile Churchills from Stuka, and the loss of both officers from Stormtrout are already making me have skeptics' doubts about the long-term power of the allies in this game.
Yeah, I agree with that, and also got to say, really good play from the Axis with the use of Stukas, not using them as just like fire into the blackness of the map, just firing where they have line of sight, where they're currently engaging, where they know units are standing still, to force them out of position to either move or just like sit and just take the barrage. Stug actually gets taken out by the 57 on the left hand side, and we actually saw Gay pick up a mortar. This is the second time or third time he's picked up a support weapon that he's decrewed and just ran his units back to his front lines. In this case, the mortar did go down, but that's a mortar that the Allies can't use now.
Yeah, proportionally, most of the Allies and Axis have used the same amount of units. However, the big exception to that being Suga, who, because of those 2 Churchills and what I imagine is a lot of other armor, he is running a very small company.
Yeah.
He's already used up more than half of his troops.
Stormtrout rush.
Just the loss of both.
Loss of both the officers.
Yeah, the Staghound.
Staghound did alright.
Axis
Took out the
being
officer.
Unlucky earlier. Yeah, but they're having great luck with their ET now.
And nearly tried to take out
coming
the
in.
Vet 3 medic. Gonna go down on this building. The building is gonna go down, I fear.
Oh, it gets out at the last second. Only loses 1 man, and the building would have survived actually. The building is still up after that double Stuka rush.
Allies have managed to capture a
RN
pack on the left-hand side. They're gonna need that with the amount of 18 they have
RNG's
to
just
deal with.
protecting his church, his chapel there in the middle of the map, at least
Yeah,
for
man.
another barrage.
Yeah, not gonna give up this church. I really think they should start putting down wire and things like that. Knowing the number of time Volks have just rushed their positions, wire might actually do a pretty good job. Why?
Did put down a few emplacements at the start, but after that he's seemingly forgotten about it. He's trying to set up a more advanced mortar emplacement now. We're seeing some heavier troops from the Axis coming on. Have a KCH and a actually LMG reward unit here on the left, a Volks squad with the LMG 42.
The problem Snake Boy is having using this KCH and things like that is he's having to rely on things like Panzerfaust, which just using the Staghound took out its main gun, because he lacks pop, because he's got the medic and the 2 Stukas, so he's got a very small fighting force to attack with, and he's relying on the indirect fire of the Stukas every time the cooldown stops to stay in the game, kills wise.
Yeah, whether it was planned out or not, his company's syncing up very well with his 2 allies I'm sorry, I'm actually mistaken. Only one of the, oh no, okay, I'm sorry. I was mistaken and I wasn't mistaken. It's a Stuka out from Pernuter, but then the other 2 are Snake Boys. So Snake Boys providing the artillery while both his allies, who have much larger company, are just throwing their men at the front for him for the most part.
Yeah, and I got 3 Stukas firing at the same time, Jesus Christ. I'll say this about Pernuter though, he tends to use his Stuka with his infantry, which is something I don't see very often. Mass Stuka fire in the center. Unfortunately, there's not really that much to kill.
No, and it looks like 2 of the Stukas have fired an incendiary barrage. They are hurting Stormtrout's Tommy squad with Bren's that he wasn't looking. That squad has gone from, I believe, 4 to 1 man now. So their barrage was definitely not wasted.
Fresh P4 out from Snake Boy, and Gay's got in some more walking wounded. He's had this a few times. Provides some light AT with the Panzerfaust, and just provides something for the allies to kill in the meantime.
We are seeing MP40 Volks after MP40 Volks coming out from Pernuter on the left side, and he still has that officer, brought out more Panzerschrecks, getting a second P4 out from Snake Boy now.
Oswin has decided to sit in front of the pack.
Down with the big loss for Stormtrout.
Oh, jeez, was there a captain in there? Yeah,
yes.
Jesus.
Big loss from Stormtrout in the middle, really hurting now. I believe every one of his officers are dead, unless he proves me wrong and brings on a 3rd lieutenant, which would be very surprising.
I don't know why he decided to go into the cathedral. It seemed like I don't know, it seemed like a terrible idea to go in there. It was going to go down.
His luck had held once, maybe he was hoping it would hold a little longer, but not this time. Axis trying to mount an attack on the left, having some mild success. P4 taking a little bit of damage, but I don't see the allies being able to stop them here if they commit to it.
Double ranges out now from Otto. Let's take a look at how many columns they've used. Otto is 8 out of 20, which means he's less than halfway. Saga is 9 of 14, so he's more than halfway there and has lost quite a bit. And he's lost probably the best units in his company with the Crocs. Jesus, that Stuka barrage nearly takes out the 17-pounder. And finally, Stormtrout is 12 of 19.
Painful to watch.
Yeah.
Even more painful for the allies, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That double Stuka barrage.
Stormtrout's 12 of 19, so he's used quite a bit.
The allies seemingly having no artillery or rushing units left to take out these artillery pieces on the Axis. We had a couple bazookas just go off from one of the Stuka's Pernuters, which does have the most kills. And it's been buttoned now, but there's no AT to follow up.
Yeah, I don't know why the Rangers were so far away. The Rangers should have worked together with them. They were going to do a push.
They did have a shot, yeah. But if he had not run away, you're right. This is going to be very costly for Stormtrout. I'm expecting him to lose a lot of these infantry, and the Stuka's probably going to get away here.
Especially these recon Tommies, which may have a snipe shot, and he could have just recycled that over time. Flammenwerfers now from Gay in the center, just uncrewing everything.
Mm-hmm.
270-pounders.
Small defensive fortress that the Allies set up is going down in flames, literally.
Just huge manpower losses from the Allies. Do you want to go through how many columns the Axis have got, just so we can have an idea of how far they are away?
Pernuter, with the largest company on the Axis, having used a little over half, 14 out of 23, followed by Jaeger, who is just 1 platoon smaller than that, having used 15 of 22. And then lastly, Snake Boy, with the smallest Axis company, 9 of 16. So they have used a lot, but on their half because Suga has such a small company and using most of it already.
It's an interesting, like in these replays, it gives you time to think about the nature of companies,
Oh.
which is a deep and philosophical meaning. It's interesting because this is maybe the first war I've played where I've actually been using manpower bonuses. I think every war I've ever played, I've tended to always use munitions. Like, just go munitions, just make my companies as elite as possible. Because I tend to use a lot of KCH, I tend to use a lot of stormtroopers and things like that, or paratroopers. So I always try to get as much, munis. Oh, that Artie's gonna come down. Didn't kill that one-man Shrek squad in the center. But this is why I've been trying to experiment using a lot more manpower and just try to make big companies. And I've had some interesting games as a result. And while I had fun with that, I'm actually going back to having more of a middle ground. Having 3 manpower, 2 muni, or 3 muni and 2 manpower.
And it is a testament to the game that, for as old as it is, the meta is still evolving with the use of company sizes and contents and resource bonus spread that we're seeing here. And we've had a lot of big plays go on right now. We've been talking the Rangers, the double Zook Rangers that auto brought on. One of the squads was Stuka and forced off the field. Actus launching a massive attack, clearing out the allied position in the middle. Stormchild losing his last mortar, I believe. That was in a mortar emplacement near the front. The Axis still maintaining their artillery advantage, looking a very bleak picture for the allies right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, things continue to look bad on every single front. They're facing 3 Stukas, they've got a enemy sniper to contend with, and they're double Brits. Their Gaze just brought on double mortars just now with it's going to be a ton of indirect fire, so they can't stay where they are, but they don't necessarily have the troops necessary to make a push. There we go. Cromwell thought about moving in the center, but as soon as he saw the Panzer IV, 2 Shreks in the pack, he decided to just make a detour and get the fuck out.
And the Axis not having a lot of frontline troops on right now, they were gonna now rectify that with Prenuder calling in 3 squads of Volks and an MG42.
Yeah, he's got a ton.
As well as Jaeger bringing on another 2 squads of Volks. There was a window where the Axis did not have a lot of frontline presence right now, but the Allies are being so scared of those artillery pieces and having just been driven back from the assault that they could not take advantage of that gap, which is now going to be very closed, very hard units to break through.
If they hadn't thrown, I was gonna say if they haven't.
Infantry.
Yeah, they bring a lot of infantry, and really the problem here is they don't have the officers if these guys are going to be moving slowly in enemy territory. And if their tanks hadn't been thrown into them more at the start, they could have made one really big push, try to chase down the Stukas.
That's not true. Suga does have his officers still alive.
Oh, true, I didn't see that.
Stormy that's missing his.
Yeah, Stormy's going to have a bit of trouble pushing up every single time if they're going to be slow. And that happened with the recon Tommies and the units that supported them. Even though the recon Tommies were moving at full speed, they could only push up as far as the rest of the units could support them.
Yeah, Suga could do a lot with this infantry group, but, and there's a big but here, the Axis have 2 MG42s. As long as they don't get suppressed by those 2 MG42s, they could certainly make a big impact. Have to see if they survive through the hellstorm of artillery the Axis have on the field long enough to do work here.
It's interesting, like with the amount of Volks they've got, they obviously gone Terror to get the, free MP40 Volk Walking Wounded. But I wouldn't mind trying something like mass Volks, but using assault nades. I know assault nades are not the best, but I do like using assault nades on Volks because they throw 3 nades instead of 2.
They have an outgoing artillery rush from the Allies, showing that they do have a little bit of their own artillery to send back at the Axis. Looks like he aimed for a counter barrage on the Stuka though, and did not finish it as a result. He has decrewed a mortar with an undershot from
Very
the
lucky.
howitzer, which very lucky. Definitely, every little bit helps right now when you're the Allies. However, the key targets that are on the field are still there for the Axis and still going to be causing problems. But the Stuka barrage is coming down just over and over again from the Axis, whittling squads down one man at a time, finishing off one-man squads. It's just it's got to be stressful on the Allies right now.
And good job on the Axis for holding the center. They're like, I'm not gonna take this territory and just sit. they continue to send Volks every time to just hold the attention of the Allies, make sure they've got line of sight for their Stukas. They're not waiting around.
Very nice, but also very lucky long-range Piat shot from Suga, taking out that Panzer IV from Snake Boy on the left side, opening up the left side to the Allies somehow. The question is, do they have the knowledge to exploit that? Their fog of war on the left flank is very limited, and they have 2 Shreks to scare away the tank that Firefly Stormtrout is sending in now. Not really a tank you want to be rushing in with, but I think he's getting low on options until his reinforcements arrive.
Stormtrout actually bring up a truck. Could be a 25-pounder, could be a Bofors.
Yeah, either would help, certainly right now. They could take out some of these support weapons the Axis have, open up a hole for their forces to move in and kill the artillery, or if it's a Bofors, stop the Axis from pushing them around so much.
Axis actually bring out their own truck, could be an 88, could be a left airburst. And we're seeing Gay in the center actually just killing these medics continually as they come up. He wants the dead bodies for himself. He's probably killed like
Sherman,
10 medics.
Another Sherman on the left flank going down. The Axis have their packs. They have 3 packs on the field, both, and they're basically positioned to cover the entirety of the map, making it very difficult for any Allied armor that's come on. And a Snake Boy is called under Schutzwagen. So, although Stormtrout has that Firefly on, and Suga has just called on another Firefly, one of his last platoons, cannot see these Fireflies being.
No, I don't think they're going to be effective. Honestly, that'd be an interesting upgrade if you had a Firefly with like a, HE round instead of an HVAP round. But I guess that's basically just a Cromwell.
Setting up a Bofors now, so it was a Bofors, which is a little sad because Axis are setting up another artillery piece in the middle, so that Bofors may not be able to lie around too long.
An airbus could work pretty well on this map with the number of choke points because of the hedges.
Counter snipe by Otto on the Axis sniper in the middle. However, it's behind green cover, meaning it's going to cloak very quickly. Oh, Otto so delayed on his counter snipe. Could have had Pernuter sniper there, but missed the chance. Oh, it's nail biting to watch and all painful at the same time.
Yeah.
And he does have 2 snipers to counter snipe from, but he does not have free fire on. He's holding his fire, and he's just not quick enough to react on these counter snipes.
He does get the sniper now, though.
He was running, trying to get away from those. I don't know what he was trying to get away from, actually, but he uncloaked to move, and that was just a death sentence. He did not know that Otto had that sniper there, so he probably thought he was safe. Either way, good job from Otto.
Stuka's coming down on the position where they thought the sniper might retreat to, being the triage. Does take out the triage, does take out the granary, and nearly takes out the 17-pounder. Audi coming down on that mortar now.
Allied Triage Center dead, very dead now from that Stuka barrage. Bofors at half health already without even having taken a shot.
Finally, one of the Stukas could go down. The Stuka actually has 19 kills. The others actually have about 20 kills.
Should have died earlier. A 17-pounder shot was sent, but it missed.
Pack hitting
and
the.
Unfortunately, it's gonna get away here too.
Yeah, Pack hitting the Firefly that was trying to chase the Stuka. It's surprising how little frontline forces the Axis have. It's really surprising.
When you get this much artillery on the map, you are using it as a shield, basically, instead of having a force to defend it.
It makes sense why they're throwing the Volks just at the walls of the Allies, because they just want to keep them back as much as possible, even if it's for a brief period, and make sure the fighting is in their court rather than the Axis side, where all their support weapons and indirect fire is.
Yeah, the Allies would have to bring on a massive amount of mobile force, so either a lot of tanks or infantry to push through the storm of artillery and the minimal force that the Axis have. But I just don't see the Allies realizing. I don't think they have the intelligence, as in the recon, to know that the Axis front line is fairly weak.
They've even called on some bikes to deal with the sniper from the Allies. And it's really funny because on the right hand side, this Vulcan one-man infantry squad from Saga have just been in the same area for like 10 minutes now. It's a good use of a one-man squad to just cap and hold the attention of a bunch of pop.
Stuka barrage. It took two or three Stukas, but they did kill a machine gun, and so even though it's a lot of artillery just to kill one thing, it adds up over the course of the game.
Yeah, when you count up the number of 57s and 17 pounders and 30 cals they've lost, it makes it worth it.
Triage, Ranger Squad, Tommies, yachts, it's definitely adds up.
Alan's actually bringing on 2 mortars right now. Unfortunately, they're going up against Stukas in terms of indirect fire, so it's not going to be an easy fight for them. And we're seeing Sugga's Firefly in the backfield, really far back. I'm not sure what he's aiming for. The Shrek has missed. Maybe he's trying to chase
Sugga
this.
is on field. He's going deep for this Firefly, but he's got no pressure on the front, so the Axis is going to be able to turn everything they have to deal with that Firefly.
He's running straight into a trap of a G-Wagon and a Shrek and a pack.
And all of it hit too.
I don't think I've seen anyone use a Firefly well this entire war. Not once. It's weird, they don't even feel like as substantial as a regular Sherman. I feel like they take extra damage. Or they have less health. Ostwind out from Gay. And the airburst firing on the mortar in the center.
Allies cannot get a break from the artillery. Even if they set up an emplacements for their support weapons, the Axis do have incendiary barrages on 2 of those Stukas to get them out.
And it is a good counter to Stormshroud, who generally really builds a lot of emplacements every map. And he tends to build emplacements like overlapping each other, so if one takes a little bit of damage, you can move to another. 17 pounder goes down to the Stukas. This is just not looking good.
17 and a Piat squad as well. And that second Axis sniper from Snakepoint is still on. Otto being extremely conservative with him. I think he brought his snipers purely to counter snipe. But I honestly think he needs to get a little more aggressive with it, as you are down by such a large number of troops now. Pernuter having his sniper counter on because he knows Otto has that sniper on. It's unlikely that the Allies are going to be able to fend off an attack unless he runs back to that Bofors. But his positioning right now, he's very forward. I don't think he's going to be able to make it to that Bofors in time before the bikes are on him.
As you said, right now, Sugga is all on field. Otto's actually 13 or 20. He's got quite a bit of his company left. And I don't know how that's the case. I guess he's just got a bigger company than the rest of his teammates. And Stormshroud is 18 of 19, so he doesn't have much left. These mortars are about to get rolled by all the Volks.
One of the few Stuka barrages that has not hit anything directly in a while. However, it still manages to kill a mortar that is retreating. Pernuter losing some Volks Grenadiers to this Bofors, but again, he succeeded in killing a mortar and a Piat squad, so a very good trade there. It's just the Allies are struggling to gain any advantage from these.
Oh, he's going to send these bikes in the center with the Bofors. The Bofors are going to blow them up.
One bike down already, another one getting hit. Down, dead. Another running in a machine gun. The sniper is gonna look like he's gonna live to fight another day. Duke is firing as well on this big blob of allied troops.
Just getting annihilated.
Sniper barely making it out with his life. Everything else, well, I guess several Tommies and an AT gun going down, showing how impactful these walking Stukas have been in this game. They all have 20, almost 30 kills.
Interesting, another P4 out from Snakeboy. This time it's Vet 2, so he's kept it alive. Not many people you see today, running mass Panzer IVs. It's not a strategy I've used for many years. I tend to have 1 or 2 Panzer IVs in my company max, usually just one to sort of like have some tankage before I bring on a heavy tank.
Yeah, the Axis are definitely slowing down now. They're all getting low. Pernuter and Snakeboy almost out, and then Jaeger's not far behind. Just only has 4 platoons left compared to 3. So while the Allies are even lower, the Axis are at least slowing down the pace, falling back on their artillery. If the Allies could get some lucky barrages off and kill these Stukas, it's possible they could still make a comeback.
I doubt it at this point, but it's interesting seeing Stormtrot building a slit trench in the center. I wonder how the incendiary rounds from the Stukas would have done against trenches, because I feel like this is a pretty good company to deal with Brits, because they had grenades on quite a few of their Volks, and they had
Oh,
incendiary rounds.
certainly. Grenades on Volks Grenadiers and Stukas with incendiary sounds like very difficult to deal with as Brits.
Because I played a game
No
recently
quick
where
way
I've
of attacking those walking Stukas.
yeah, I played a game recently where I used a Goliath against a split trench, and I was like, this Goliath is fucking. I think it was against your trench, Nick.
It
And I was like,
against mine.
this Goliath is fucking useless against a trench. I didn't know that. I would have thought the Goliath would have done something.
New every day you play. Hey,
Yeah,
6
pretty
years
much.
later, you're still learning new things, right?
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, Axis have an MG42 bunker. Otto probably thinking that, I've killed several support weapons and so much Axis stuff. Surely there's nothing over here. But quickly discovering that an awesome MG42 to the face is gonna ruin your day.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
17-pounder in the middle has gone down to an artillery barrage. P4 from Snakeboy moving into mop up whatever's there.
yeah, they
There's
fired.
really not much. All the
No,
allies.
it's over. They fired the two Stukas out, the 17-pounder and the airburst, and the airburst actually managed to take out the sniper. So it's all over.
And two of the allies are on field, both Suga and Storm, and they do not have much on at this point in the game. It really comes down to Otto winning basically 3v1 at this stage. And while he does have a lot left, fighting a 3v1, which is 120 population versus 40 population, is
Not gonna work out.
still a very tall order.
Lots of Shrek's gonna fire on this 105 howitzer, gonna take it out.
Neuter waiting till the end of the game to bring out his elite grenadiers with officer support.
Gotta say that I'm not gonna
Set up.
I'm not gonna shed a tear for over repair squads dying. I can say that much.
To be fair, he did not cheese them. They were
No, he
full
did.
men.
No, I give
Most
him
of the
full
game.
props for that. He brought them at the mid of the game, and he used them to recrew stuff as needed, not just for the sake of saving pop.
Stormtrout trying desperately to make an impact with these Piats at the end, getting a couple hits on the.
Oh, this Audie's gonna be
shoots,
bad.
Losing a double of that squad in the process. It's double Stukas firing and an officer barrage on these poor
Jesus
riflemen.
Christ! All I see is like trace rounds of smoke of artillery falling.
And this is a story that has been repeated for poor Otto all game, losing two rifle squads to that officer barrage as he thought he had him. Running two squads into the MG42 bunker in the middle. This has been very painful to watch. Both Suga and Stormtrout eliminated, completely annihilated, calling GG. Otto may fight on here, but it looks like he's pulling up as well. Despite having 14 columns out of 20, so he still had 6 platoons left. But when you're out, if you're not losing things equally across your allies, you need to disperse your troops more carefully. And it just doesn't look like that was able to happen for the allies. Axis losing troops pretty much at the same rate across all players. And now a little post-game trolling going on, trying to Stuka barrage friendly troops.
Jeez, I gotta say it was an interesting game for this. I mean, in terms of double Brits,
No,
two
lucky
good Brit
Panther
players.
strike from Perneuter's officer taking out the 30 kill Stuka.
Oh
From
Jesus!
Perneuter.
I bet
So that
Perneuter's
was
not happy.
Perneuter trying to hit Snakeboy's Geschützwagen, missing and blowing up his own walking Stuka.
Oh jeez.
Well done, Perneuter. You get a clap from me for that.
That's not bad. Oh wow, you don't friendly fire kids, because you never know what'll happen.
Exactly.
Anyway, Nick, thanks for joining me. It was a alright game to watch, and some interesting strategies from both sides. I'll say this,
Yeah.
it's interesting to see that much amount of artillery to deal with a Brit Sim City that was never really formed to begin with.
Yeah,
They just never let him.
early and kept him on all game.
Yeah, and never let him
because
build
of
Steel City.
that, I think that's the whole reason why.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even if they had been able to build up, I think the Stukas would have torn it down very quickly. But yes, thank you very much for having me today. It was a pleasure casting. I always have a great debt to the OMG community. I shared so many great years in memory with all you guys. Always happy to show up for a cast every now and then. Hopefully a game that you can learn from on what to do, what not to do to an extent. Apologies that it was a little one-sided.
Oh, G-Wagon got a damaged gun from that from a Shrek barrage. Anyway, thanks, Nick. See you in the next one.
Have a good night, everybody.